Hey everyone, it's Sarah of sarahsbites.com. I wanted to show you guys how I make Owen's baby food. So these purees are super easy to make and you can feel free to explore and just try so many different things, but I'm just going to give you a few examples here. And then first, I'm going to show you a clip of Owen's favorite, which is the berry mix, and we mix this up with his oatmeal. And this little baby spoon is amazing. He never eats without it. I think it helps them so much, even with teething, which I'll explain later, and I'll link it below as well.
Is it good? Yeah, you like berries? Here you go. You want some more, Owen? Good job.
So unlike my usual videos, there is no specific recipe for this. You're just gonna kind of let your baby try various fruits and veggies. And of course, as far as the allergen foods, keep those at bay until you're ready to try those or until your pediatrician says, go ahead. But what we did was the first puree that he ever tried was sweet potatoes mixed with carrots. So I peeled a couple of sweet potatoes, a few carrots, and then I just boiled them. You can also steam them, which I think preserves even more nutrients. But I went ahead and boiled these, and then that was the first food that he's ever tried outside of his milk. I know a lot of mom and dads like to try green veggies first for the babies. I really did not see that as necessary. I did want to start with vegetables before fruits, since fruits tend to be sweeter, but even sweet potatoes are pretty sweet. So he just had this for the first time, and after that, he still loves to eat vegetables. So if you want, you can do sweet potato puree by itself, or you can do carrot puree by itself. I just wanted to mix the two together, plus I made a big batch of them, which you'll see later so that I can freeze. So while those are cooking, another one we'll do is some steamed broccoli. I just get the steamable bag and throw it in the microwave. And then while those are getting steamed as well, we're gonna do our berry puree, which is Owen's favorite. I buy that frozen berry bag, the organic mix kind, and it's, I think, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Then I just threw in some frozen peaches as well, and you'll find that sometimes you do have to add water to your purees because they'll get stuck like mine did here and they won't blend. So just add a little bit of water, a little bit at a time, because you don't want it to be too runny. And as far as the fruit goes, just play around with all sorts of ideas. It's fruit, so your baby's going to love it. More often than not, and then you can even do one fruit at a time, but I've just always mixed everything from the get-go. These silicone trays are a life changer when you're freezing baby food. You can try ice cube trays, but they are going to be a pain in your butt to take out. So I really recommend silicone. Amazon has so many different ones. I'll link in the description below the ones I use. This blue one actually is used for also making popsicle sticks for babies. So I'll link that in the description below. So this is going to go in the freezer. And then I have these little glass storage things. They're, I think, by Oxytot. I'll find the link to those as well. These I put in the fridge. So I store these up for 3 days. So anything extra that doesn't fit in the silicone trays, I either put it in little bitty Tupperware or in these glass ones in the fridge for up to 3 days. Now that our broccoli's done steaming, we're going to puree this as well. So same thing, use your blender, NutriBullet, whatever you're using. Just make sure it is not too hot. So I put these in steaming hot and the lid almost popped off the NutriBullet. So give it a little bit time to cool off before you steam it or put it in a blender. That's just a safety thing. But anyway, the reason I do this alone is I wanted him to try broccoli by itself before mixing with other vegetables, just so he can get used to the taste of broccoli and doesn't reject it later. We'll blend up the sweet potato and carrots, and then we're gonna start freezing all of this as well. Having multiple silicone trays on hand, I think, is key if you're trying to do all of this in one day, like a big batch of frozen baby purees. I only had two, the blue one and this yellow one, so I actually had to do some this day, and then the next day when everything froze and I popped them out and washed them, I had to redo it all again, which was kind of pain in the butt. So I think it's easier just to do everything in one day, maybe like freeze enough for a month's worth. I don't like to keep the baby purees in the freezer more than 3 months tops, but I do know you can go up to 6 months with most foods. Just kind of split those up however you want them. I did the carrots half, and then sweet potato and carrot mix half, and then I put them in the glass containers for the next day or day after that. So 3 days max in the fridge for those. And I'll find a link to this tray as well and link in the description below. And if you overfill those holes with food, don't even bother with the lid because it's just gonna kind of mush it and spread it all around. Just pop it in the freezer with no lid, and you're gonna take them out in a couple hours anyway. I usually just let mine freeze for about 4 hours, and they are perfectly fine to take out after that. The next day, I made him organic green peas and butternut squash. So these are steamable bags. Just pop them in the microwave according to the directions. And then I also blended up some frozen mango chunks and frozen pineapple chunks. And I keep those separate because I like to throw those in with his oatmeal. Now that he's eating purees 3 times a day, I like to give him oatmeal at least once a day. So I just mix whatever kind of fruit we're doing that day with those. We skipped rice cereal altogether and went straight to oatmeal when we're mixing his food. So pick whatever brand you like. And then I'm not gonna bore you guys on showing you how to freeze all of these different purees. So pretty much you're just gonna blend up those green peas, blend up the butternut squash. I did them separately, you can mix them as well, and then freeze them in your trays like everything else. When they're ready, you're just gonna pop them out of these silicone molds and then throw them in some freezer quart-sized bags and label them with the date and whatever it is. They are so easy just to take out of the freezer the night before, put it in a little Tupperware or bowl, and you can even mix them. When they start eating more, for example, Owen started with just 1 of these chunks. Now he can eat 2 in one sitting. So I'll mix, for example, the green peas with the butternut squash, and I'll have that thaw together and just stir it when it's ready, and he absolutely loves it. So it's so much easier than making baby food every single day. And before I forget, I wanted to mention that spoon that we give Owen every time he eats. I think they're called Num Num spoons. I'm not really sure, but I'll link them in the description below. You get 2, and the gray one that he started off with, he was chewing on it so much during eating, and then I would give it to him throughout the day kind of as a teething toy. And I really think that's what helped his first tooth pop out, because he was just gnawing on that thing so much with his gums. Next day he had his first tooth, and now he has 4, and he just turned 7 months old. He has 4 bottom teeth. So I think that spoon also kind of gives them a bit of independence when they're eating, because you hand it to them and you can show them how to dip the spoon into the bowl, which is going to take them obviously a long time to understand. But even just them holding that spoon and kind of participating in the whole eating process while you're feeding them purees, I do think makes it much more enjoyable for them. With the veggie purees, we just give those to him straight up. But when it comes to fruit, we add this oatmeal brand that we like. And you can also obviously do just oatmeal with breast milk or formula, but we always like to add fruit inside the oatmeal for a little bit more flavor. And then that way we're exposing him to different fruits. Let me know if you guys want me to make you some sort of timeline or outline where it shows like day 1, day 2, 3, on and on what we gave Owen. And we also already ruled out all the allergen foods except honey and maple syrup, which we'll do much later on. So he's doing great with those. And I would love to know in the comments below what your baby's favorite foods are and what their least favorite foods are, which is probably the funnier part, because Owen's least favorites are avocados and bananas. It's so weird, but I think it's a texture thing. So let me know in the comments below, and if you have any suggestions on what you want me to put up next baby food wise, let me know please as well. And then consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye!